You know that saying, when one door closes, another one opens? I feel like people always tell us that when something ends. And so most of us expect a new thing to come along as soon as one thing ends. And that thing could be a job, a relationship, a place to live, like even just a chapter of life. Like we really like it when things follow each other smoothly and there's no like gaps in between. But the truth is, in life, we often spend some time in between those two doors. And I like to call this period the hallway. So the hallway is when you feel like something has ended, but you don't know yet what's going to come. Like that new door hasn't appeared yet. And most of us at some point in our life will spend some time in the hallway. Now, if it's not, for example, because you leave an old job or you lose your old job and you don't find one right away, it could also be that perhaps you have burnout or you just feel like it's time for something new and you're sort of stuck in that limbo phase. And this can be a really uncomfortable phase for most of us because it brings a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen, and we don't have the guarantee that things will work out as we hope. And so it makes sense that there's a lot of fear that comes up in this period, and everybody deals with it differently. There's kind of a few different approaches you can take. I feel like a lot of us, what we do is we try to knock on every single door, and we're just like, something needs to happen, so I'm gonna just make something happen. And that can be a really effective method, but it's also a little bit fear based because the opportunity that will then open is maybe not exactly right for you because it's something that you chose out of a state of panic rather than something that's really aligned. And then the other method that I also see a lot of people do is just to wait, just to be like, I'm panicking, I don't know what's going on. I'll just wait till something presents itself. I've been guilty of that myself. And also that can work. Like sometimes that's really effective, but it's not the most empowering method. It doesn't really give ourselves the message like, we got this. It's basically just very passively waiting for something to come. And again, something will probably come, but that might also not be super aligned because it's just what presented itself. I think a good approach for this in between period, the phase where we might feel really stuck, where we feel like nothing happens, is to really see it as an opportunity. Because the truth is, a lot of the things you feared are probably becoming true in this period. And that is really, really frightening. But it also gives you an opportunity to explore those fears, to acknowledge them, to integrate them, so that you no longer have to be so afraid of them. Because the fears that we don't actively look at are still there under the surface. But if life never gives us an opportunity to look at them, we might never look at them. But our choices are still affected by that fear. And this period gives you a chance to be like, okay, I'm sort of lost. I'm in between phases. I don't know what's going on. So I have nothing else to do but, just explore what happens and just sort of feel those fears in your body and find what gives you a little bit of safety in that uncertainty. Because just like we all have fears, we also have things that give us certainty. And maybe for you, that certainty was that job or that door that has closed. And then it's a really good opportunity to see like, hey, maybe you got your validation from something that's not really you. And in this period, you can find that sort of security within, sort of a trust that you will figure it out, that life will figure itself out, and that you've got this. And once you learn that, you never really have to fear those in between periods anymore because you know that you've done it before and you can do this. So, as uncomfortable as this in between period may feel, and it really is uncomfortable, I don't want to make it sound like it isn't, it is also an opportunity. So, if you're currently going through one of those phases where you're like, I feel like I'm stuck in between, nothing is really happening, and I don't know what to do, I would like to invite you to be like, what are the fears that are currently coming up? Can you allow yourself to feel those fears in your body? Can you be with the experience of discomfort that this brings? And then also, like, what gives you a little bit of comfort? What is something that makes you feel a little bit steadier? something that you can do for yourself. So, not something that is outside of you, but anything from like a walk in nature, just writing down your thoughts. Perhaps for you, it's like taking a hot bath. Just find these things that calm your nervous system in this time. And you'll see that when you both acknowledge that fear and you allow yourself to feel that in your body, but you also find sources of safety within yourself, you really find some sort of foundation in yourself in all this uncertainty. And then as you do that gradually every day, it becomes so much easier to make choices that are really aligned with you and that aren't made from a place of fear or just feeling like something needs to happen right now. Now, if you would like to read more about my in-between period, I'll link the article below, and feel free to share your experience with this topic with me.